I can barely concentrate because these delightful things arrived in the studio. Yes, we're having afternoon tea here today because we're being joined by Tom Parker-Bowles. He's a food writer with over 20 years' experience. And if you recognise that surname, yes, he is a son of Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. But Tom's turned his knowledge of all things food and drink into a book about that British favourite, via India, tea. And we're getting in on the action. So with the magic of telly, Tom, I believe you've got some cakes there too, have you? This should work. Do you have cakes?
I've got some wonderful cakes sent by you from Lola's Cupcakes. Am I allowed to say that? With your faces on it.
Oh no!
That'll put you off eating them.
And I've got, just so we're not left out, I too have a cake with my face on it, which I will take home for the kids later, I think. And Tom, I'm really, really pleased you get to have a selection of cakes with our faces on it. You know, couldn't think of anything else you'd rather have for lunch. But yeah, you're joining us today because you have written this fabulous book about tea. And what you've done in the book, I've got a copy of it here, is you're actually matching tea to various courses for food and various dishes. It's a really fascinating book talking about the history of tea, really.
Well, it's a history of tea, because we all drink tea. Tea's the most democratic of drinks. You can drink it out of polystyrene cups and silver tureens. You can, you know, we all have in common tea, and it's a history, it's recipes, it's how to make it. It's not too bossy. It's saying, you know, the best way perhaps to make it with loose leaf. It's bags versus loose, milk first, milk after, but lots of lovely recipes for this wonderful thing that we British do all right, which is tea.
We really do. I do have to admit, though, when it comes to good old builder's tea, good old breakfast tea, I'm not a fan. I never really have been a fan of that. So what we've done for me is we have done one of the wonderful recipes that you have in the book for a cocktail that features tea. And I've got an iced tea here, which does taste absolutely delightful. So there's something for everyone in this book, really, isn't there?
There sure is, you know, on obviously selling the hell out of it. It has, you know, it's for your mother, your father, your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you know, it's got something for everyone. So it's not just a history of tea, because the history of tea is interesting. It's not crystal clear. It's not entirely without dodgy parts. The history of tea, it's very much bound up in empire, which is, you know, it's not a good thing. But we're trying to get a balance here and see why we drink so much tea, why we like tea, and why tea is the ultimate, you know, it wakes you up in the morning, you can have it before you go to bed. There's so many different flavors, kinds, green, black, oolong, pu'er, you know, the list goes on. I knew nothing before I started this book, apart from I quite like tea. I spoke with Ottilie, who's a Fortnum's tea expert, and she taught me everything. So I'm still a neophyte. I know nothing really, but this book was fascinating to do.
Well, I'm going to pick your brains, Tom, but because I want to know, you said a tea's for everyone. I completely agree with you. And I've been to some amazing tea plantations in Sri Lanka, really at altitude. They're fantastic places. But what's your mum's favourite tea?
I don't think she drinks so much tea anymore, but it would be, I'd say, English breakfast, but with a slice of lemon, not milk.
Oh, yeah, that's my taste entirely. Now, the other thing I've got to ask you, I don't know if you're going to answer truthfully. Do you watch The Crown, and does your mum watch The Crown?
I can answer truthfully, no and no.
But we know she likes loose women.
Well, this is it. And Emma, I was speaking to earlier, one of your lovely people who you know, who make all this happen, said, have you rung your mother and asked her? And I thought, oh, God, I forgot. But I know what she told you, or she told Coleen, I can't remember who she had told, or Ruth, someone that she liked it. And she doesn't lie about that sort of stuff. So if she said it, it's true. She does. I think at the moment, you know, when she's working, she can't, like, nip off and watch Loose Women. But when she's not, I'd say most definitely.
Well, Tom, we've actually, I think we've sent you a mug with your mum's face on it, a Loose Women mug. So please, could you give her that from us? And she would be one of my, if I could choose what panellists or what guests we could have on, she would definitely be top of my list. I think she'd be brilliant. I love her.
Yeah, she would be.
Well, Tom, I would just like to know if you could solve this debate. Which comes first, the milk or the tea?
Oh, it's a perennial and age-old debate. There are many reasons, they say, why the milk in the old days should have gone first, so the hot water didn't go into that delicate bone china and break it or crack it. But really, who cares? It's your cup of tea. Do it how you want.
Yes.
I would do, personally, I would do tea first, then milk. But many millions disagree.
Now, what I want to know very quickly, though, Tom, we've got this wonderful afternoon tea spread here. Presumably, this is how you guys eat every day, right? You constantly have a full spread of afternoon tea in your house.
Butlers, afternoon tea. I mean, there is a full staff Downton Abbey waiting to bring me my lunch, and then, of course, my afternoon tea. That's quite pretty.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Annoyingly, though, none of us wants to eat it in case we then do the rest of the programme with food in our mouth. But we'll very much be taking it home with us, I think. Now, in terms of your favourite all-time tea that you go to as your go-to every single day, what would that be, Tom?
Gosh, I'm going to turn it to sound like a complete sort of tea bore here, but it sort of depends. I've got some of them, like these are all Fortnum & Mason, obviously available from other fine outlets across the country. This is interesting. Guy Matcha, a green tea from China, but it has roasted rice in it, so it has a sort of savoury taste. You've got the Sencha Japanese green tea, very good for you, full of antioxidants, very verdant, and you don't have milk with it at all. I like this,
and
the
finally,
funding.
very quickly. Oh no! I want to say, because I was going to say it's like watching you talk about wine. It's fascinating. But Tom, thank you so much for joining us. I kind of feel we've learned a lot, and I'm going to up my tea game. So thanks so much, Tom. Thanks for joining us.